Let's say you are in the market for a large car, a practical car, a long distance going car, and one that fits more than the average 5 passengers, but also an EV. So you don't have too many options, do you? Except this. Here is the all-new and improved BYD M6, successor to the E6 with a third row that now fits up to 7 passengers in total. And yes, I've done a range test to Pokhara not too long ago, but this car was also alongside me on my Dolphin to Delhi vlog, so check that out. And so I thought I'd take it for one more spin today and share you what I thought about it. The M6 comes with a 71.8 kilowatt hour industry leading blade battery that's mated to a front wheel drive 100 kilowatt motor that produces up to 250 newton meters of torque. And this is definitely a step up from the E6, which had a smaller 70 kilowatt motor and produced only up to about 170 newton meters of torque. And as for range, the M6 delivers about 420 kilometers on a full charge WLTP. But as from my Delhi vlog, that all depends on your driving, doesn't it? This isn't a car you do a 0 to 100 in, but if you're curious about that, it can do it in just shy over 10 seconds and can take you to a top speed of 180 kilometers per hour. Not that I think you'd actually do that with your family on board, would you? But you know what my favorite thing about this car is? Its practicality. For a 2.8 meter wheelbase car, it has a decent ground clearance of 175 mm that I actually had to take off-roading on a detour on the way to Pokhara on a full load, and it surprisingly didn't bottom out. As for boot space in this car, with the third row folded down, it's got an ample space of 580 liters, but with it folded up, it still has a usable 180 liters. And if you fold down everything at the back, it can move most of your house. All right, and as for charging, it's way at the back here on the driver's side. So rear flap here, push to open. It is a CCS Type 2, and BYD claims that it can accept up to about 7 kilowatts of fast AC charging, which, let's do the math, will take about 10 hours for 0 to 100. But you find the best DC charger around, and it can actually accept up to 115 kilowatts and take it from 10 to 80% in around 40 minutes. And yes, I did see it accept up to 89 kilowatts in a 90 kilowatt charger back when I was touring around India. All right, it's getting windy outside, so that was a mouthful of numbers. Let me hop into the driver's seat and let's get driving. All right, foot on the brake. Here is my seatbelt, clipping my mic, drive, and we are off. This does not feel as intimidating to drive as it may look from the outside. Like, it's quite navigable. There is a mode button down here that funnels between eco, normal, and sports mode. Hi BYD, open the sunshade.
The blind is open.
You have some assistance too. And you put your foot down in sports mode and the car pulls. Even in eco mode, there is a proper heft to the torque that was unavailable in the E6. It's got a much punchier brutal sort of acceleration, but not too brutal that the passengers are going to be thrown around everywhere. The 4 disc brakes on this car, oh, speaking of which, the 2 front are ventilated, feel more than capable for a car of this size and weight, paired with the regenerative braking that comes from its electric drivetrain power system. And just like all BYD, there are 2 modes, a standard, and in this it's called a larger. Both aren't too intrusive, let me tell you, but I just like mine super duper less intrusive, so I've left mine in standard at the moment. And the car is, how would I put it, very much on the plush side. So it's got a McPherson strut suspension at the front and a multi-link at the back, and it's, let me tell you, very well planted and stable, especially at high speeds. But that weight does make this vehicle a bit bouncy when it comes to like consecutive potholes or like fast long bends. You definitely begin to feel the weight of the M6 slosh around here and there. As for the driving position, it's very tall and commanding, almost SUV like, though I do want to let you know you do not see the front bonnet at all, even in my highest seating position at the moment. In order to help you though, there are wide expansive windows all around, including in your A-pillars, and with a click of a button on the steering wheel, you can activate your 360-degree camera, which is going to make this car much easier to navigate, especially in bumper-to-bumper traffic and narrow roads. But I'm not sure why BYD have also kept this party trick button on the steering wheel. Like, I feel like it could have been kept elsewhere. As for the comfort of the cabin though, it's quite decent, I would say. The sound insulation is pretty decent on this car with what's outside. And AC, I wouldn't say it's the most powerful AC. Like, you will have to turn it up a couple of fan speeds, but there are enough vents for almost all the passengers in the car, including way back in the last row. Good thinking there. But above all, what I love about the HVAC control is 3-finger swipe up and down changes temperature, and then horizontal swipe changes your fan speed. So intuitive and easy. I wish this would be the benchmark for just all touchscreen related infotainment screens. I do want to rave about the BYD autonomous driving that I tested out on the Dolphin, and it's similar to this on the M6 because it just all across the platform, that I found was very helpful. I'm not testing it out right now, but with a click of a button on the left hand side of the steering wheel, you set your speed, you put your hands on each side of the steering wheel, and you are done on expressways and long travels. As long as you have enough juice in your battery, you can go as far as you can. And I'm not kidding. The car automatically detects objects in front, or their lack of, and will automatically speed up or slow down. It monitors your blind spots. It keeps you center aligned. Right? So what more do you really want on long tours, especially with an MPV? As for the exteriors on this car, well, it's definitely an MPV, but that front part looks very familiar, like an Atto 3, right? So I'm going to start right at the front. There is a bit of a latch, hydraulic arms for your bonnet opening, and it is a massive bonnet. Let's get that out of the way. Hydraulic fluids, windshield wiper, AC to DC converter, 12-volt battery for your appliances, a fuse box. There is a bit of a depreciated area here that you might be able to fit in an aftermarket frunk, but let's not mess with that, I guess. And closing it down, at the top you have half of your ADAS sensors baked in with boneless wipers, and just like the Atto 3, the badging and grille are very reminiscent. Also, down here, BYD claimed that it's got a bit of a dragon-like face at the front. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And oh, here. Everything on this car, lights wise, inside and out, are LEDs except the luggage compartment light at the back. Nice touch, BYD. So, according to the company, this is called a crystal diamond starlight floating LED headlight. Ha, damn, that was a mouthful. It's got integrated DRLs and side lights into them, and they do have follow me home functions. Coming at the front, you have one of your 360-degree cameras, your tow hook here. Oh, and would you look at that? You actually have functional slits to reduce drag and make the car more slippery for maximizing efficiency. Also cut out at the bottom with the rest of your ADAS sensors, and this is for your AC air intake and radiator. Coming back up and to the side, if you look closely here, you have a small window for better visibility while handling. It does make a difference. And these mirrors have indicators integrated into them, and they are electronically adjustable as well as foldable. Oh, also more of your 360 cameras on either side, a massive window at the front and back, and an even more massive panoramic sunroof stretching from here to the back of the car. Also, you have roof rails, but I think this is more for aesthetics. Coming down though, you have GT Control P10 tires. Not sure about the brand, but the size is 255/55 R17s, and they've got a good amount of sidewall to soak in bumps and potholes that you find on all of our roads. Coming back up, the car does have metallic chrome highlights at the top and at the bottom, and then very sharp creases and cuts starting from the front that go all the way to the back. Oh, and if you ask me, it kind of has that well-defined, rather muscular sort of body look that most SUVs also come with. So yeah, quite cool. Coming to the back though, you have another smaller window pane for your third seat occupants with space written in it. Not that it needed to be emphasized, right? Your charger flap is here. And up on top, you have a shark fin antenna with a spoiler and a top mounted stoplight. You also have a rear wiper here. Oh, and would you look at that? The BYD is now just the initials. I kind of like how this discreet looks. And then you have more LED tail lights that wrap around the car. And what I find cool is that it's sequential side lights. Looks really cool. Also, at the bottom of the car, you have more badging and 4 parking sensors, including reflectors on each side, and a bit of more of that chrome metallic highlights here and there. The M6's interior has been totally revamped with the synthetic leather seats and is quite modernized as compared to the E6. I think BYD thought a bit about where you actually make contact too, because my elbow, my arm, my finger touch points are soft, but the rest of the cabin is also hard plastics. So starting with your driver's door, you have this big wide door, one touch for window down on all 4 windows. Your window controls, your lock buttons, your mirror navigation is here, and you have a nice big water bottle holder there, your speakers down here, your tweeters tucked away up there in the corner, and that was a nice heavy thud, I think. At the front you have 2 ventilated seats, and your driver's seat, let's start off there while I'm sat here, has a 6-way electronic adjustment of height, reach, and then angle. And then your steering wheel has a lever down here that you can pull down, and it will adjust itself for height and reach. Quite useful. So your steering wheel is a very familiar 3-spoke BYD multifunction steering wheel, with the left side having your cruise controls and car controls. And then on your right hand side are your efficiency button, your media controls, picking up and then the voice assistant command here. Similarly, on the left side is your wiper, including your rear wiper. I don't know if you can see that. There you go. And then on your right hand side are your indicator controls, as well as your headlight, fog light controls. The dashboard layout on this, and I'll have a separate video to look over this and the infotainment screen in detail, but it's a mixture of analog on each side, and in the middle is a 5-inch digital display. Then coming to the center console area, 12.8-inch infotainment. As long as it's in the horizontal format, this car does support Apple CarPlay. Like, here is my iPhone, and it also supports wireless Android Auto, as I've been told. So it's got a 2.5 PM air filter, and all your HVAC controls are unfortunately on the screen, so you will have to get used to it a bit. You do have a wireless charger down here. Your gear lever is here. Foot on the brake, you press this to unlock. Front for reverse. Good high definition camera with dynamic lines. Coming back down, you press P for park, and then down for drive. Let's put it in park. The other buttons are your hazard lights, your regenerative braking, your auto hold, parking sensors on off, your media controls for your passenger who's sitting on that side, and then your AC on and off, your front defrost, and then your car mode like Eco Sport, normal. 2 cup holders, but again, they don't fit big bottles. And then you have a slit for your phone here, but I don't think a massive phone would fit. My phone is not too big to begin with. Then coming towards your center armrest, you open it and you actually have a USB-C, as well as a USB-A and a micro SD card slot here to record dashcam footage, as well as a 12-volt 120-watt outlet, and just enough of space for your knickknacks. Up on top, though, you have your lights on each side, or one for everything, and this is for your sunroof. You can basically open or close it, or you can ask the voice assistants. And as for your sunshades, they do come with a mirror that the light automatically turns on when you open it. It's the same on the passenger side, by the way. Oh, and this is a dying feature, but a sunglass holder, and you have manually adjustable automatic glare reduction rear mirrors in the middle. Also, the front passenger side gets a 4-way electronic seat adjustment, and you have an extremely large glove box here that is quite deep. And then coming to the second row, I have my driver's seat in my height, and you can actually move your seat forward and backwards depending on how much room you want to give your third row passengers. But let's say I want to maximize that. I still have like okay-ish knee room. If I take it all the way back, though, I have ample knee room, good footwell room, good shoulder room, great headroom, and this sunroof, though, is what makes this cabin feel very spacious and comfortable. And also your second row seats do incline a bit back in case you want that added comfort. And the thing is, you're actually sat a bit higher than the front seat, so it feels like you're in a bit more of a spacious cabin than is. You also have a center armrest with 2 cup holders, not for anything large, but your to-go coffee cups and whatnot should do the trick here. Folding that up, there is a bit of a hump in the middle, but it's nothing too much. And what I find really nice that BYD have done is down here, you actually have your AC controls for the rear occupants, and a USB-A and a USB-C outlet at the bottom. And well, getting to the third row is, I wouldn't call it too difficult. So if you are able to get over the ingress and egress on this car, it's honestly quite comfortable back here in the third row. This row is again once more higher than the front 2 rows, so it gives a bit of that more spacious feel, and your rear occupants definitely have quite a number of creature comforts. 2 speakers on each side, an armrest, seat belts, individual headrest. Oh, and at the rear you actually have the ability to change your recline angle just by a little bit in case you want to increase comfort furthermore. But there is no USB port, which I thought was a miss. And as for space, what's written on the outside of this C-pillar? Well, I would say that there is decent space, and as testimony, Nepal drives did fit an entire 7 people from Kathmandu to Delhi, which was a proper 2,500 kilometer journey with 7 adults. So it's definitely doable, to say the least. But if you are tall, then it's best to leave this row for the kids. Since when did driving an MPV feel this nice like in this M6? Like, it's a really well engineered vehicle and a definite step up from the E6 that almost seems very bare and minimum right now. This car, let me tell you, is perfect for running domestic errands or even commercial, might I add. And as a family shuttle, I feel like it's just great. So the car delivers value, comfort, and safety, and dare I say, plenty of power. Foot down and you are off. I don't think you'll be doing that with your family though. And even if you are like me right now, stuck behind the wheel, it's got a pretty decent, smooth driving experience. I'm not gonna lie about that. And I think what I also really liked about this car's placement, at least here with BYD Nepal, is also its price point. I find it quite attractive. And here's why. I know the entire world right now is raving for SUVs. The Atto 3 is probably Nepal's top selling EV and vehicle in general at the moment. So over the years, there's been a lot of demand for hatchbacks and sedans that have gone down, and it's now all about SUVs. But there's still a niche market that needs to cater for more than 5 passengers at a time, for long distances, for maybe even something bigger than an SUV. And I feel that because this is priced between the shorter range and the longer range of the Atto 3, I feel that this fits in quite well for a lot of things. Anyway, that was me for this review. Drop a comment down below about what you thought about this car or anything else that came across your mind. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace.